Hey guys, Sam here from Roadrunner Sports, and today we are talking about the Altra Torin 4.5. I'm really excited to tell you about this shoe. As you can tell, I enjoy wearing them, putting one on the foot and telling you about the other one while I'm holding it so I can give you the real-time feel of this shoe. So telling you a little bit more about the Altra Torin 4.5 Plush, that's what I've got here. Really exciting shoe. It has a lot of updates from the 4.0 and a lot of has stayed the same too, because the 4.0 is a great shoe and this really built upon that. So we're gonna go with performance first, and then we're gonna dive into tech a little bit more. So starting with performance, I'll let you see this foot too so you can see the shoe again on the foot, so we can talk a little bit more about that too. So performance, I've spent about 20 miles running in this shoe and I have really enjoyed it so far. The big takeaway from Altra shoes is that they're zero drop, which means all the same from here to here, from heel to toe, and that they have a wider toe box. So you'll see that here, wider toe box, zero drop. There's no incline there. It's totally zero drop. So we're going to talk a little bit about how that felt on the run. So as I said, I've spent about 20 miles in the shoe, longer runs, shorter runs, and what I've noticed most is when running in the shoe, I feel like it almost corrects some issues that I've had, which is really exciting. So for those of you who are in quarantine right now, staying at home still if you are, you know that probably your posture has suffered a little bit. I know mine has, just from sitting at my work from home desk, which isn't anywhere near like what I have at the office. So I've noticed that I've had some upper back pain and just some kind of just issues that I'm taking in with me into my run. And when I run in other shoes, I've really noticed that I still feel that pain afterwards, and I'm sure that the posture that I'm pulling into my run from my day is still that poor posture. So what I found running in these zero drop shoes that are basically supposed to support your natural gait and the way that you're essentially born to run, these shoes, after I ran in them, my body felt so good. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool for just testing a new shoe to feel that good after a run. And I didn't notice pain in my back. And this is the only shoe I've been running in exclusively for the past 20 miles. And I think it's because of this zero drop. I think my form is better because I'm just falling into my natural gait cycle. So that's number one for me, what I love most about this shoe. The other thing I really enjoyed is that I felt like it was a relatively lightweight shoe, 7.4 ounces for women, 9.1 for men. And I felt that it really, the cushioning on the Quantic cushioning, or the Quantic midsole, and just the overall cushioning wasn't a cushioning that you sink into necessarily. It's just a cushion that's present and good, relatively responsive, and felt really good on a run. A lot of people like the shoe for long runs. I would use it for long runs and daily training. Those would be the two things I would use it for. I really enjoyed it for daily training, especially because of that kind of almost corrective form that I felt was in place when I used this shoe. So I liked that element of it. So let's go into the tech a little bit more of this shoe. So if you look here, this has this foot-shaped toe box, and you'll notice it's a wider toe box. If you want to see it on my foot, there you go. It's kind of what it looks like. And that wider toe box is nice because people who have wider feet often like Altra, because they find that the toe box offers them more room for their toes to splay. My feet are not necessarily wide, but I enjoyed that opportunity for my toes to splay during the run. That really helps with, if you are going on those longer runs and your feet swell up, you've got this nice wide toe box to provide that opportunity for your toes to kind of, expand during your run, which is pretty cool. The other thing that Altra changed from the Torin 4.0 Plush to the 4.5 is that there is more cushioning in the heel now. You can see that a little bit there. And what that does is the heel itself is not a super rigid heel by any means, but the heel counter, that is, but the cushioning kind of helps hold your foot in place a little bit more, and it also ensures that you're not experiencing any heel slippage thanks to that extra bit of padding. So I really like that because I always complain about heel slippage, so none of that in this shoe. The other element of the shoe that they've changed from the 4.0 to the 4.5 is the tongue is less padded. Not really anything super notable there, but if the tongue bothered you in the 4.0, they've solved for that in the 4.5. The upper is a nice light mesh. It's breathable, nothing crazy to report here. It's a flexible upper, feels good on a run, no hot spots. The lacing system is really solid. That plus the combo of the lightly padded tongue means there's a really nice fit here. And then you've got your Quantic midsole, and this Quantic midsole again is nicely, relatively responsive, and the overall cushioning is a high cushion level for what I felt was like a decently light ride. So that was really kind of a nice combo. And then that foot-shaped toe box that I mentioned. And then the outsole here, again, if you want to see it on the foot, don't know why you would need that differentiation, but whatever. That outsole here is actually made with your nerves and the tendons in your feet in mind. And the idea is that it supports that as you're running. So it's actually made with the idea of mapping those nerves and tendons, which is pretty cool. I feel like Altra takes this really like scientific approach to their shoes, which I found really interesting. When you get the box, and I should have saved that, but when you get the box, you actually see on the inside of the box that they've included this information about your gait and the way that you run, you move through your run and your gait cycle, and how the shoe is made to support that and enhance that experience, your natural running experience. So I thought that was a really cool element of the shoe. Again, quick tech specs, 7.4 ounces weight for women, 9.1 for men, 0 drop shoe. This is a neutral running shoe, so again, good for those neutral runners who aren't overpronating too much. It has a little bit of a slightly wider base, especially up front, so it has a little bit more of that support as you're moving side to side. But again, this is still a neutral running shoe. It doesn't have a really rigid heel counter or anything like that, so it has that flexibility. I would recommend this shoe for anybody who is looking for a great daily trainer, or also a solid long run shoe, and somebody who wants to work on good form. I thought the shoe was super cool for that. The shoe comes in at $139.95. Again, this is the Altra Torin 4.5 Plush. You can get it at Roadrunner Sports at roadrunnersports.com, or visit your local Roadrunner Sports store. If you are a VIP member, you can test this shoe for 90 days. If it's not the right fit for you, you can exchange it. That is everything I have to tell you about this shoe. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I will see you on the road 6+ feet away, and we'll make every mile count. Thanks, bye.